Time to head to the Gambit DC listener lines, 800-636-1067. We're getting your reaction to Dan Orlovsky praising the Washington football team. He's picking them amongst his final four NFC teams for the 2021 season.
It's the first time that I can remember in recent years where the national guys, and maybe that's why I'm so bitter about the national guys, is I always feel like they disrespect us. But it's the first time where there's like real buzz coming from people outside.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Outside the area. And let's be honest, this team hasn't deserved buzz.
Correct.
In the last 20 years.
Mainly
really
because of who was making the decisions.
I mean, yeah, for a million reasons. And there's a large segment of people, I think Jason's, one of the leaders in the clubhouse, that thinks they still don't deserve that much buzz because their quarterback position, they got a journeyman at quarterback. There's no doubt they have a journeyman at quarterback.
Yeah. They just need to prove something on the field first. Look, I'll be the first one to say I was wrong if Fitz is having a great year and they're 5-2.
I just think he's going to play okay, and it's going to be a huge upgrade over what they've had.
I've got a lot of chips. I have a lot of chips in the middle on Fitz. Got a lot of them in there.
All right, but let's bring out some of these calls. Let's see if people are feeling the buzz here a little bit. Maybe I'm missing. Maybe there is a year where we were hyped and people were picking us to win the division and everything. I just can't remember one in recent years other than 2012 when everybody was hyped on RG3.
Were they predicted to be a playoff team that year?
But I'm not even sure that they were.
I
Because,
don't think so.
He's a rookie quarterback. Rookies don't lead you to the playoffs.
Right.
Let's go to Eddie in Centerville. Eddie, what's up, man? You're on with the Junkies.
Hey. Yeah, good morning, guys. Yeah, I wanted to say that Dan and Louis could be a little bit off. And I agree with Jason when he was talking about the quarterback position is set in Dallas and New York. And I personally believe that, the Giants have a better team overall than the Washington football team, mainly because I don't think here they have a quarterback set. And if you don't have a quarterback set in mind, then that's controversy, and that's going to lead to a lot of bad games. But if, like Jason said, if they go 5-2 with Fitz, then they can win 11 games. But I think the Giants have a better team. And I think
why do you think they're not set at quarterback?
They're set at quarterback. His name's Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
$10 million.
No, Ron Rivera made it clear that it's an open competition, did he not?
No,
okay, that's called
talk.
Diplomacy.
That's talk.
That's fine.
Listen,
that's fine.
Here's the indicator, and I think JP Finley tweeted this yesterday. He can say whatever he wants. Ryan Fitzpatrick took every snap with the ones.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That tells you something.
He said he watched Heineke. Heineke didn't take one snap with the ones. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
Now, they may not be set for 3 or 4 years down the line because Fitz is an older guy, but they're set for this upcoming season. Fitz is their guy unless he stumbles out of the gate and has a horrible first month.
Right.
Now, if he does that,
a miracle.
If he does that, then Heineke's going to step in.
Eric, I'm just looking after the 2015 season. They were 9-7, right? And they lost the wild card to the Green Bay that year?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was when they couldn't stop big fat Eddie Lacy.
That's right. Eddie Lacy killed him.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe in that off season before 2016, maybe they got some hype. They ended up finishing 8-7-1 and missed the playoffs that year. Remember they tied Cincinnati because
in the London game. I remember
the London game because they missed a kick, a layup of a kick. But so maybe between the but
not like this. Not like we went, wow, look how fast they are on offense. Look at all the upgrades here. Look at all the toys they have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And defensively, a defense it's, a lot of people think is going to be a top 5 defense. I don't even think that's a stretch to say that.
No.
I think most people, if you asked most pundits, and look, nobody knows anything. We're all just blowhards. But if you ask most guys that cover the league, I would say 90%, that's my guess, maybe I'm wrong, would have Washington as a top 5 defense.
Yes.
Preseason.
Yeah, I've seen even the best defense.
Yeah. So let's just say top 5.
I've seen a bunch of guys pick that.
So most people have him as a top 5. And offensively, obviously, you're going to be as good as Fitz is, but he's got some weapons. I think Orlovsky is onto something. And, of course, tip of the cap to Valdez. He said we were contenders. He said that months ago. I will say that, and I mocked you a little bit.
This is Matt Valdez.
I mocked you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Mo in Largo, line 2. Mo, what's up, buddy? You're on with the Junkies. Hey,
Thanks
buddy.
for taking my call.
Yep. Yeah.
Couple of points to make. First off, with regards to the last caller, explain to me how is equivalent to being set at the starting quarterback position. Like, okay, yeah, he is the starter, but he's not that good, so that doesn't really equate to being set at that position. So no, I don't feel like the Giants are a better overall team. I don't think that we've had this level of hype in a long time, and I think that's because of the validity of the hype, meaning the defense. You know, I mean, we have a good defense. We've made legitimate upgrades, and we don't really need Fitzpatrick to be a rock star for us to be a successful football team. We have a good defense. We have an established running game, and now we have speed on the outside. So I think there's a reason why it's legitimate hype that's being assumed across the country versus just here, because the pieces are. So moving, like our chances, but, you know, and not to mention, we didn't go out and try to break the bank on the, you know, the shiniest toys out there. We went and assessed our team. We brought in the personnel that makes us better without breaking the bank and allowing us to move forward and make moves if other guys become available in the next couple of years. So overall, I like where we're headed. Thanks, fellas.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't go out. They didn't go out and spend 17 or 18 million on Kenny Galladay. They spent a bit less on Samuel, who they thought was a better fit for their system, and they're getting him for 12 or 12.5 million instead of 17 million per season.
Mm-hmm.
So they're being fiscally responsible.
The only other season, Jason, I can honestly, and I forget everything, so I don't even know what I had for dinner yesterday, but I do remember that, you know, all in for week 1, 2013, after Robert was so good, right? And then there was some debate, you know, when he would actually start, but there was a lot of hype about the 2013 team based on 2012.
Yeah.
We didn't realize that, you know, Robert didn't want to run that system anymore.
And he was going to deteriorate as a passer.
He was going to, and that, you know, his ego was going to get in the way of things, and he wanted to be maybe somebody that he wasn't.
Because that was a complete disaster.
Because that was a disaster. Yeah. But I do remember being hyped about it.
Yeah, you might be right on that, because they did finish 10-6 the year before.
Yep.
And then Shanny got fired after the season, right? That wasn't mid-season?
At the end of the season, after the season concluded. Yeah. After that disastrous game against Kansas City.
Let's go to Sean in Portsmouth. Sean, what's up, buddy? Line 1 there, Valdez. Sean, how you doing?
Hey, how y'all doing this morning?
What's up, Sean?
Man, how are you?
What's up?
All right. First of all, I want to say to Jason, I want to ask him a question. I know he's a 49er fan, so is my brother.
Mm-hmm.
But being in the division that your team in, who you think have a better chance of winning the division, Washington or San Francisco?
Based on the strength of the divisions,
I have my answer.
I would probably say Washington has a better shot at winning their division.
That's my
So
answer.
y'all got a tough division.
Oh yeah, it's brutal. But I just think Garoppolo, if Garoppolo is healthy, right?
Yeah.
If he's healthy, I think that they're going to have a really good year. And Trey Lance is playing half of the year. Who knows? All bets are off. But I just think whenever Garoppolo has been healthy, they've been a really successful team. But the strength.
Another season when he drafted Deshaun, that was a lot of hype too.
Well, they had signed him in the offseason. Yeah. That's true. What year was that? What year was it?
I believe it was 2015? He won a division that year, didn't he?
Well, Jason will look it up and remind us of all that. But I do remember the hype. You know, the what was it? D. Hall and those guys were whining and dining him in the club in D.C. and the rumors are out that they were chasing Deshaun.
That was 2014.
2014.
Yeah, that was because that was his first year in Washington, 2014.
Yeah, he was here for 3 seasons.
And they had a terrible year.
Yeah. It just never really worked out. He had moments here, right? I mean, what was Deshaun's signature moment here in D.C.? I still remember Deshaun killing us in Philly more than I remember him doing anything particularly outrageous here. I remember the purple nurple that he gave Jay almost more than anything he did on the field
at
here.
Club J training camp.
Exactly.
Remember, he would have a game where he would have, 6 catches for $140 and a long touchdown, and then the next week he'd have 2 catches for 36 yards.
Yeah. It just never really materialized. But that's kind of been his career, to be honest with you.
Correct.
That's kind of how he is.
Yeah, but that was 2014, his first year, and they were 4-12, I think.